Yo, what is up everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how I edit my Instagram Reels inside of Premiere Pro. And this is the quickest possible way to get you the highest quality. These Reels literally take me 30 minutes to an hour at most. So let's get into it. So when you guys open Premiere Pro, you'll find your footage right here. Just select both of them. This one is just my voice because I record it separate with my mic. And then find your location, save that, and change the name. Now create. So as you can see now, my Premiere Pro probably looks a little bit different to yours. Yours probably looks something like this. So what you want to do is just try and rejig how I am set up and do that for yourself. So have your effects, essential graphics up here, project and essential sound, your effects controls and source up here, and then put your timeline here. And the reason I do this is because it's the most optimal layout for short form content, so the long ways. And as we can see here, we've got our two pieces of content right there. So I always just double check this, go to your sequence. So just make sure you're on 1080 by 1920. Everything else should just be the same based on what you recorded with. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is just line up this voice recording with my actual video. So as we can see down here, I just used markers to just line it up, and I'm gonna play it. If you're a video editor, you've gotta watch. So now it's pretty much perfectly on time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlink the top one and delete that, drag this one up, and just link these two together. If you're a video editor, so now they're in sync. And I'm also just going to bump up the audio gain. Video editor, you've got to watch this. Okay, so the first step you guys want to do is, as you can see here, this is not edited at all. So you just want to chop your reel together. So if you guys look here at my cuts I'm doing so far, they're really close together. And the reason I'm doing that is because you want to be as snappy as possible with your reels. As you can see, I've got all my cuts here done. So the next thing I'm going to do is come up to the project tab and just click this little paper thing, new item, and get my adjustment layer. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, we've got layers here, 1, 2, 3. What you're going to do is you're going to put this adjustment layer on the third layer, and I'll explain why that's important in a minute. So now what you want to do is get your adjustment layer and just chop along here and just match all of your cuts, select it all and go up to the effects and search in 100 to 110 and just add the 100 to 110 slow zoom. So all this does is, if you're a video editor, this is for you. I know that add a zoom in on your video. So as you can see here, if you're a video editor, this is for you. I know the struggles of having, so every cut it will just zoom in, and this is really good for keeping the audience's attention. And you can do this effect by yourself, but if you want my presets, it'll be in the link in the description. So now that we've done that, we want to go over to transcript and just click transcribe. So once your footage has been transcribed, you want to go over to captions and click create captions from transcript. So that's just going to add captions to your video just using AI pretty much. So once that's transcribed your entire video, head over to captions and click create captions from transcript. And now open up this and turn all of these all the way down. So maximum length in characters means how long a text is going to be. So if you put this really high, you'll just get paragraphs on paragraphs, which is bad. And then minimum duration in seconds, put that as low as possible. So it's just sort of one word subtitles. And for lines, just make sure you click single and then create captions. Now after this, you're going to get a weird sort of yellow bunch of bars here. And as you can see, there's the captions down there. They look absolutely trash. So what you want to do is just double click them, head over to essential graphics, and you'll get this big nifty page. So come over to zone and click middle, and then I like to go with around 350 in this box. So do around 350, but whatever suits your video. So you might want to put them just in the middle. If that's your case, just leave that at 0. But for me, since my head's here, I want it just sort of at my neck, so I'm going to put it there. And now for my text, I'm going to go and use condensed extra bold and put my font size at 62 and get rid of shadow because I don't really like it. All right, so that's pretty much our captions done. But now what you want to do is make sure you still have all of them selected and come up to graphics and titles and then just click upgrade caption to graphic. So basically what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to be able to put effects onto the captions and basically treat it like it's an adjustment layer. And now this is where we did the three layers important. This is where this comes into play. So make sure you select all the captions and then drag them down below the adjustment layer. And this is a little bonus tip. If you see that 3 there, that means that they're out of line. So what you want to do is when you're dragging something, you want to bring it down and drag it so it says 0 like that. So that 0 pretty much means that you haven't moved them at all. Whereas if it says 3, that means it's moved 3 frames and it's going to be uneven. The reason we've put the captions below the adjustment layer, it's so when the slow zoom zooms in, the subtitles actually zoom in with it. So as you can see, that looks nice and natural as it zooms in. But if I select all of these,
video editor.
and do that. As you can see, the captions don't move with the zoom.
Video editor. This is for you.
And it doesn't look as good. And congratulations, you've pretty much done the base of your reel. So you've literally got everything. You've got the captions, you've got the zooms, but this is where it gets to the fun stuff. So this is when we're going to start adding the effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this slow zoom layer up, drag editor up, drag the video underneath it. So what that does is it shows both of them at the same time. And then I'm going to change the fonts. So video editor, probably going to do Unisans, make that a little bit bigger. And if you want to change your size of your text and stuff like that, this moves it to the left and right. This moves it sort of up and down. And then this is your sizing. So that's pretty much how you do that. So as we can see, this is what we've got so far. If you're a video editor, this video editor, it's pretty choppy, so we're going to make it smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves more room to work with and just drag this adjustment layer up again, drag both of these up. And then what we're going to do is select both of them and drag them out just a little bit. So I like to use the subtitle before and just drag it to the first sort of edge of that. And now this is important because if we go over to effects and search opacity, we go text opacity effect and we just drop that effect onto both of them. And what that does for a video editor is it smoothly shows them up. So as you can see, if you're a video editor, it's nice and smooth and satisfying. And now we're going to put a little glow effect on the text. So go up to your effects and search glow, come down to the text glow effect and just drag that onto whichever text you want, and then click this little effects button, or you can go up to effect controls, but just click that and it will take you there quicker. And now you'll see this, so you'll see a bunch of this stuff. Don't worry about that, that's just the preset doing its magic. But come to the very top sort of layer and click map white to, and then this is where you can change the glow to whatever color you want. So if you want red, if you want blue, boom, that's what you get. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for green, and boom, that's what we have so far. If you're a video editor, but it just chops off, as you can see there. Boom, just chops. So what we're going to do is drag it out a little bit. Just trust the process here. Go to my effects and search slide down out. And I'm going to take the effect here and just drag it on. So that's going to slide this both down. So here's what we have so far. If you're a video editor, this is boom. So we got slide down. So as you can see, it looks like a nice transition. We dragged both of these text layers out so it goes across the new ones and creates sort of like a overlay transition, as you can see. As you can see, the text of all just appears, so it looks nice and smooth as it drops. If you're a video editor, this is for you. And again, if you want the presets that I just used that saved me literal hours, there's a link in the description. And if you look here, it's crunched, you can see there's a little bit of silence here. So obviously sometimes your clipping might not be perfect. So what you want to do is get rid of any sort of flat line like this, any space, clip all three, delete, and then just delete it again. So it's just that little bit more snappy. Okay, now this third layer, you might be wondering, why is this gap here? Now that is for B-roll. And if you don't know what B-roll is, it is simply just extra video footage that you're going to put on top. So right here, I've got my B-roll footage. I'm just going to drag that in. Just click I for in, and then drag all of it. And then just here, and then O for out. And so most people would drag that, but what you want to do is just click drag video only, so it only takes the video and gets rid of the audio, and then just drag it on. And since we have that whole line cleared, it makes it nice and easy to drag on our B-roll footage without it chopping everything else. Alrighty, so I want my B-roll to end here. So what I'm going to do is, this is just personal preference for me, but I'm going to speed up my B-roll footage. So what I'm going to do is right click it, speed and duration, and go maybe like 1,000 and just see where I land. So as we can see, there's the end, but we want to get it to where the marker is. So we're going to go 1,500, 2,300, and boom. As we can see, that's pretty much spot on. Editor, this is for you. I know the struggles of having to rush clients, crunch deadline. Okay, so as we can see here, clients, crunch, it's still the same B-roll, but it pulls back. So if you want to change that, what you can do, pull this layer up, drag this one across, and then go to your effects again, and take this keyframe. So this is the 110 keyframe. So as you can see, it's going higher, and just drag it across to the very end. So then that goes across to the next B-roll, and then take this top layer, start it here, and then come, put your marker to the end of it, and just take this keyframe and put it on top of the marker, and then chop, and then bring it all down. So as we can see, it stays on the same B-roll, but it doesn't pull back anymore. Rush clients, crunch deadlines, and staying up all night. So since I say the word rush here, I'm gonna add a bit of transition effects. So essential graphics, and I'm just gonna change the font. I'm gonna do a little slide in up effect. So because I'm doing that, I wanna drag this out and then search slide in up, and then boom, drag it across a little bit and search slide down out, and boom. Having to rush clients. So as you can see, that's a little bit too quick to rush. So I'm gonna drag it across, take both of the keyframes from the slide down out effect and just drag it across again. Having to rush clients. There we go. I know the struggles of having to rush clients, crunch deadlines, and then crunch. I'm gonna do the same, change the font. So what I did here is I just changed the font and I put a little blur text on that. Took the deadline text and put it on top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like a little shadow to it. So if I click shadow here, change the direction to 0, drag it out, expand it, soften it, expand a little bit more, just play around with it, I guess. And then put the opacity down. What that does is it creates a little bit of depth. So as we can see here, I've just got some depth here. And then I'm going to add an opacity effect. And here's what we get. It's crunch deadlines and staying up. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go through now and just do all of my effects. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we have finished my effects. I'll just scan through. As you can see, I got my nice little effects in there. Boom, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. So now it's the fun stuff. This is the sound design. So if we head over here, I've got a whole folder with all of the sound effects that I use. If you want them, again, it'll be in the description. Alright, so just down here, we can see these are the main sound effects that I use that I kind of just copy throughout the video. And this is the riser Metallica, the camera shutter, the mouse click, the basic whoosh, and the cash register sound effect. And all of these sound effects can be found in this folder right here, which you can get in the link in the description. So I used the riser at the beginning just to add tension, just like this. If you're a video editor, this is for you. So boom, that sounds pretty good. So for the opacity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the camera shutter, I'm going to drag it across, and I'm going to do it again, so make sure it's selected. Hold Alt on your keyboard and drag it out again, and that duplicates it. And just make sure the sound effect is at the start of each layer. So it'll sound like this. If you're a video editor, this is for you. Boom, so we've got that. And I'm going to take the swoosh sound effect and line it up so the whoosh happens when everything slides down, just like this. Video editor, this is for you. If you're a video editor, this is for you. So there we go, we got that. I know the struggle. So the mouse click effect, which is this one, I mainly use that for like transitions. So I'm going to put it here where it transitions between talking and then B-roll. This is for you. I know the struggles of having, so that's what it sounds like. So here, rush, it slides up. Let's do that again. Having to rush, just make sure it sort of lines up. Having to rush clients, crunch. So boom, as you can see, crunch comes up really harsh, so we're going to use the click sound effect because it's more of a harsh sound effect. And then deadlines comes in soft, so I'm going to use the camera shutter from earlier and just alt drag both of these on, and this is what it's going to sound like. It's crunch deadlines and staying up all night editing. So boom, that sounds pretty good. And then another transition, I'm going to use the tick here inside of Premiere Pro. I just pick and choose, so pick and choose because they're harsh. I'm going to use the mouse click, pick and choose. Just pick and choose from all of my, and then we see a little whoosh up, so I'm going to use this. Choose from all of my presets and just make sure you line it up. Choose from all of my presets. So here I say more time equals more money. More money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cash register effect just there. More money. So if you want my preset, time equals more money. So, and then I'm going to get a slide down and just time that. More money. So if you want my presets, just comment down below preset. Boom. Another slide up. Drag that across. Below preset and I'll send them to you. And the end is there, so just make sure you cut off any sound effects so it doesn't go to black. And now it's time to add our music. So because Instagram Reels or whatever you're sort of using it for, you can kind of have free range to what music you use. Alright, here we go. I've got my music added. Deadlines and staying up all night editing. So that sounds pretty good. And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly how I edit my Reels. And lastly, we want to go up here and export. I keep my export settings pretty simple. I mean, I know a lot of people complicate them and stuff. I kind of just have the high quality 1080 HD, the format, whatever that is. And then I make sure just to click under video, click match source, go to more, and then render at maximum depth and use maximum render quality, and then just make sure this range is on entire source. And yeah boys, that is my export settings. Go ahead and click export when you're ready, and there you have it. That is exactly how I edit my reels inside of Premiere Pro. I really hope this video helped you out, guys, and if it helped you out in any way, if you could please subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And again, if you want any of the sound effects I was using, any of the presets I was using, everything will be in the link in the description. And yeah guys, I'll see you next time. If you're a video editor, this is for you. I know the struggles of having to rush clients, crunch deadlines, and staying up all night editing, so that's why I started using presets inside of Premiere Pro. I just pick and choose from all of my presets any effect I want, and it does it within seconds instead of having to do all the keyframing, all the boring stuff, and I save hours a week. And as an editor, you would know more time equals more money. So if you want my presets, just comment down below preset and I'll send them to you.